I made a vow to myself that I'd never let those cold bars close behind me again. But right now, the weight of this situation feels like chains pulling me back, testing every ounce of strength I have left. Freedom became my promise, my sacred pact. Yet, here I am, standing at the edge, knowing that one wrong step could bring it all crashing down, forcing me back into a darkness I swore I'd escaped. Every day, I fight to hold on to the life I rebuilt. But this mess, it's threatening to take it all away. I swore I'd never go back, but now the past is clawing at me like it never left. There was a time when I thought I had control over everything. Now, with this situation spiraling, I feel like I'm just a breath away from losing it all, from going back to a place I promised I'd never return to. I've battled so hard to stay on the straight path, to keep my head above water. But when life throws curveballs like this, I wonder if it's fate testing my resolve, pushing me back to a place I never wanted to see again. The walls are closing in, and I can almost hear the clank of those steel doors. I swore I'd never go back, but this situation is pushing me to the limit, testing my will to stay free. I made my mistakes, paid my dues, and walked away from that life. But now, with everything falling apart, I'm questioning how long I can keep running from the shadows of my past. It feels like a nightmare I can't wake up from. This situation is so close to breaking me, dragging me back to a life I thought I left behind forever. I've been walking on a tightrope, always trying to stay balanced. But the storm, I feel like it's about to knock me off, back into a cage I swore I'd never be locked in again. It's terrifying how quickly life can unravel. I promised myself I'd never go back to that cold, hard place, but right now, the temptation to slip is greater than it's ever been. I feel like I'm being hunted by my own past. No matter how far I run, this situation is pulling me right back to the same spot I swore I'd never stand again. I told myself I was done with that life, but when everything's falling apart, when the weight of the world feels like it's crushing me, I wonder how long I can keep my promise. I've come so far from that place, built something new for myself. Yet this situation, it's like a chain around my ankle, threatening to drag me right back to the beginning. The struggle was always supposed to be over, but now it feels like it's just begun again. I swore I'd never let the past control me, but the pull is stronger than I expected. The fear isn't just about going back, it's about losing everything I've fought for. This situation is testing me in ways I didn't even think were possible. I've worked so hard to create a new life, one free of cages. But right now, it feels like everything's slipping away, as if the shadows of my past are catching up to me. The world I left behind is clawing at my feet, trying to pull me under again. This situation, it's pushing me to the edge, making me question whether I'm strong enough to resist. I told myself I was free, but right now I feel trapped in a different kind of prison. The bars aren't steel this time, they're made of fear, regret, and the weight of the situation. I thought I'd found peace, but now I'm at war with myself again. This situation is pushing me so far, I'm wondering if I can keep my word to stay out of a place that once defined me. It's hard to explain the fear of going back to something you swore you'd escaped, but this situation, it's stirring up all those old demons, and I'm fighting to keep them at bay. Freedom is a fragile thing. I thought I had it, but now I can feel it slipping through my fingers as this situation threatens to take everything I've built away. Every choice feels like a test I never wanted to take again. I swore I'd never go back to that life, but this situation is pushing me to my breaking point. The chains are invisible, but they're there. This situation is pulling at them, reminding me of a past I never wanted to relive. I thought I'd outrun my past, but it's breathing down my neck, whispering to me through this situation, trying to convince me that I can't escape. I promised myself I'd never walk down that dark path again. But when life throws challenges like this, I wonder if I'm strong enough to keep walking in the light. It's like being haunted by a ghost you thought you'd buried. This situation, it's dragging me closer to a place I swore I'd never go again. I told myself I was stronger now, that I'd learned from my mistakes. But this situation, it's testing me in ways I never saw coming. I never thought I'd be here again, standing at the edge, looking down into a place I promised I'd never return to. But this situation, it's shaking everything I thought I knew. I fought so hard to escape, but now it feels like I'm running in circles. This situation, it's testing my limits, and I'm terrified of what happens if I fail. I swore I'd never let myself fall back into that pit. But this situation is like a hand reaching up, trying to drag me down, testing my resolve at every turn. It's like a battle inside my mind. Part of me knows I've come too far to turn back, but this situation is making me doubt everything I've fought for. Every moment feels like a ticking clock, counting down to a decision I swore I'd never have to make again. This situation is testing me in ways I didn't think possible. I thought I was free, but this situation is proving that freedom isn't just about where you are. It's about the choices you make. And right now, I feel trapped. I've spent years trying to forget the taste of confinement, the feel of those walls closing in. But this situation, it's like the bars are slowly appearing again. The worst part isn't even the fear of going back. It's the realization that I might not be as far away from that life as I thought. This situation is a brutal reminder. This situation is pulling me to a spiral, and I can feel the walls closing in, even though they're not there yet. But I promised I'd never go back. I've fought so hard to stay clean, to stay free. But right now, I'm fighting with everything I have not to let this situation take it all away. There's a part of me that's scared I'll never fully escape, that this situation is just a reminder that I'll always be walking the line between freedom and the past. I told myself I was stronger, that I'd learned my lesson. But right now, this situation is making me question whether I really did or if I'm just fooling myself. It's terrifying how quickly life can turn, how one situation can make you feel like you're right back where you started. I swore I'd never go back, but this is testing me. I thought I'd left that world behind, but this situation is making it clear that the shadows of the past are always lurking, waiting for a chance to pull me back. I've worked so hard to move forward, but this situation is like a weight pulling me back, making me feel like I'll never truly escape the past. It's like walking a tightrope, every step precarious. This situation is shaking the rope, and I'm fighting with everything I have not to fall. I thought I'd locked that part of my life away for good, but this situation is forcing me to open doors I swore I'd never touch again. This situation feels like a test I wasn't prepared for, and the stakes are higher than ever. One wrong move, and everything I've built could come crashing down. I swore I'd never go back to that life, but this situation is pushing me so hard. It feels like the universe is testing how far I can bend before I break. The fear isn't just about what could happen, it's about losing everything I fought to gain. This situation is pushing me to the edge, and I'm terrified of falling. I thought I had control, that I'd never see those walls again. But this situation is making me feel like control is just an illusion.